Look, if you're moving to the UK as a student or as a worker, the more of the process you're able to take control of, the more of the process that you're able to be involved in and involved with, look, the more successful you're going to be, the more money you're going to have. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why you should be in charge of the process and the things that I did when I was moving to the UK that saved me a lot of money in this country. If you're moving to the UK, sometimes people are very excited. I'm moving to a new country, my dreams come true, blah, blah, blah. And you forget about, thinking straight and planning ahead, planning in advance for the tsunami that is going to be coming when you get here, because the UK is expensive. Everything is expensive. And look, you are the only person that can give yourself the best deal. So what do I mean? Let me start with being a student. If you're coming to the UK as a student, the worst thing you can do for yourself is accept student accommodation. That is the worst thing you can do, is for your university to offer you accommodation and you accept it. You must turn that accommodation down. If you're accepting accommodation from a university, it should be a scholarship. It should be that it's free. It should be that, there's some sort of funding that you have for it. If you don't have funding for that accommodation, please, you need to turn it down, even if you're coming from overseas. And after this, I'm going to talk about workers. So if you're listening to this right now, whether you're a worker or you're, a student coming to the UK, it's, you want to listen to this till the end. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, look, it's such a pleasure to have you. If you're a returning subscriber, it's a privilege. I've got my heart out to you. The fact that you keep on watching all these videos, I really appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe, because look, my videos are all about making life for you, in the UK as smooth as possible, so that you can keep as much of your money as possible. Have a successful career, earn a lot of money, make a lot of money, and retire early. That's my goal, because as you know, I'm trying to retire by the time I'm 40. So I'm currently looking at the best earning possibilities and opportunities that there are in this country. And look, I'm going to be sharing all of them with you, because I know that you're also interested, and you, of course, you are. So let's get to the point. If you're coming as a student, please, you need to turn down the accommodation. Let me share my experience with you. When I was moving to the UK, obviously this was in 2011. So I was moving as an international student. I had done my interview. I had done everything. I had my place. When it was time for accommodation, the university wrote to me and said, Melvis, you're an international student. You've got accommodation. And I was like, how much is this accommodation? And guess how much it was? £9,000 per year. Okay, and I was like, what are the conditions? I was supposed to be sharing with 5 or 6 other students. I was supposed to be sharing a house with 5 or 6 other people, paying £9,000 for an entire year. And I sat down and I thought, if I'm sharing a house with 6 people, look, I shouldn't be paying anything more than £100, because if there are going to be 5 other people inconveniencing me, why should I pay all this amount? So I contacted the university and I said to them, look, I don't want to accept this accommodation. I'm going to find my own. And they were like, no, how are you going to find your accommodation? You're an international student, blah, blah, blah. I was like, don't worry about it. Because look, in life, what you need is money. When you have money, you can have whatever you want. If you're moving to a new country, you don't need to be anxious that you're going to get stuck. All you need is to have money with you. If you have money with you, you're going to survive. So look, don't worry about trying to organize accommodation in advance before you get to the UK. Because like I say, you're always going to get the worst deal. Now, that's for a student. And still, I'm going to tell you what I did, because I turned down that accommodation. So you want to keep watching. And by the way, if you don't know who I am and you're wondering, who is this girl? Look, my name is Melvis. I currently work for the NHS in England as an advanced nurse practitioner. I also have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, student nurses, carers with career progression in the UK. So if you want to study nursing, midwifery, you want to get into healthcare, clinical, non-clinical jobs, I'm your girl. If you're a nurse and you're thinking of career progression, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm now in the UK. What next? How do I specialize? How do I become a manager? How do I become a specialist nurse? What do I need to become a nurse lecturer, nurse anesthetist, nurse endoscopist, advanced nurse practitioner? Look, you want to check out that private coaching program and join, because I'm going to be able to support you one-to-one to make sure you achieve your goal. If you're a carer and you're like, oh my God, Melvis, I'm now in the UK. I love what I'm doing, or I don't love what I'm doing, but I want to be able to do more. It doesn't matter. Again, I'm your girl. I'm going to support you with that journey, with all the various pathways to get into whatever, position that you're trying to get into, and to progress, and just change jobs and things like that. So you want to check that out. So basically, if you're coming as a worker, even if you're coming to work for the NHS, look, if they're giving you accommodation free or nursing home, private organization, whatever, if you're having accommodation free, say for the first 3 months or the first 1 month, you should only accept the free accommodation. If there is no free accommodation, please, you don't have to accept any accommodation, because what I'm going to tell you, you're going to be better off with my own solution. And look, like I say, you don't need to be scared. You know, you just need money for 1 month stay, because they're going to pay you anyway once you get to the UK. But I'm going to put a disclaimer and say, if you're somebody who has no money at all, like you're completely broke, and the only option you have is that you accept that, you know, hospital accommodation or nursing home accommodation for the first month, then please only make that 1 month. You should not be there for longer than a month, because, like, you know, I'm trying to save you a lot of money here, a lot of stress, a lot of heartache. Because if you're moving to the UK, you need to have courage, you know, you need to have the resilience to find the best opportunities. And the fact that you found this video now is not a coincidence, you know. It's because luck is on your side. So you know all of this before you ever get to move to the UK. And please, you can thank me later for it, because I do appreciate your thanks. So let's get started. How did I do? What did I do when I was moving to the UK? Like I said, I turned down accommodation, because I was like, if I'm already paying tuition fees, £10,000 per year, if I pay accommodation over £9,000, it was around £9,700 for the year. If I do that, it means that I'm literally basically paying about £20,000 per year. I was like, this is ridiculous. So obviously, like I said, I turned it down. You know, I was not worried. I was like very confident about my decision. I was like, girl, boy, I'm going to turn this down, which is what I did. So what did I do? I took all my luggage. I had a lot of stuff I was carrying to the UK. Look, most of it was garbage, actually. I should not have carried those things. But I had so much stuff that I was carrying. When I put the things together, it was a lot of stuff. So then I decided that I couldn't fly with those things, because I was looking for airlines. There was no airline that could carry me with all the things I had. So I decided that I was going to send the things, you know, through like a courier service, a private courier service. So I packed all my things together. I took them to this company, you know, and they weighed everything and sent to the UK. And let me tell you how I sent those things. What I did was, because I knew that they said to me, Melvis, you need to send them to your UK address. Obviously, I wasn't in the UK, so I had no address. And so what I did was I contacted a hotel in the UK, and I said to them, look, I'm going to be coming to stay with yourselves, because this is my plan. Can you please accept my stuff? Because when I move to the UK, I'm going to be staying with you. They were like, Melvis, what's the guarantee? I said, look, I'm going to be studying in XYZ University. You're the closest people to the university. I like your affordable prices. So yes, I'll 100% be staying with you. And they were like, Melvis, there's no guarantee, so we are not happy to take these things except you pay for a room. So when I heard this, I thought, well, that's still the best option for me, because I don't want to start the hassle of looking for people that I know in the UK, calling them, asking them, do you mind to take my stuff? Are you going to be home? Are you not going to be home? Because look, before I came to this country, I knew that it was a crazy place. People were busy, and I don't like disturbing people. I'll rather pay for the things that I want and have them done for me the way that I want them done and the time that I want them done for me. So that was why I was looking for the hotel. I didn't want, please help me, please this, because it's too much inconvenience. People are busy. People have got their lives. People have got families. I don't want to inconvenience people. So when the hotel said that, I decided I was going to pay. So I paid the hotel, and then they were like, that's fine. You know, we're going to take your stuff and keep until you get to the UK. So, you know, very simple solution. I paid the hotel online. They had the booking through. I knew that I wasn't going to be traveling, obviously, but I needed somewhere to keep my stuff that was safe. And I knew that if I keep my things with the hotel, it's very safe. It is even safer than keeping them in someone else's home, asking people. Again, people don't have space in the UK. The houses are so tight and so tiny. You don't want to pack all the bags that I had to keep in someone's house. It's too much inconvenience, like I've said. So the hotel, I sent my things through, and I made sure that my things got to the UK before I was arriving, because I didn't want any inconveniences starting my studies. So I sent the things before. The things were received by the hotel. They contacted me and said, Melvis, we've got all your stuff. So before I was ever coming now, my things were already there. And so when the day that I knew that I was supposed to move into the UK, I then had to book the hotel again, because obviously my reservation had gone off. So I paid that hotel, and look, I stayed in that hotel for a whole month. I stayed in that hotel for a whole month to find my convenient accommodation in the UK. And that was the single best decision that I ever made, because staying in that hotel saved me thousands of pounds in accommodation. Because you know what? When I was there, it was a bed and breakfast, obviously, which was very convenient for me. It was perfect for me as a student, which means that I had somebody clean my room, make my bed every single day for me, and I also had breakfast provided. So that was all that I had. If I wanted to eat, like lunch or all of that, I needed to find it myself, which was very easy. And for a whole month, it was amazing. That's what I did. I didn't mind at all. I didn't know cooking. It was quite good. I didn't mind. Because as a student, look, you're even busy in a new country as an international student. I was busy trying to find a house, trying to get to know people. So, my time was very well spent. Let me put it that way. So what I did therefore was I took that 1 month. I got to know other students. I got to know people that lived in the area. I got to speak to other people. And by so doing, so one of my friends introduced me to somebody that they knew, and that person was able to provide me with accommodation in their house. So basically, I was living 1 minute away from the university, and I was paying about £200, £200 per month in rents, in my new found place, which means that I moved from the bed and breakfast where I was, and I accepted this accommodation, and I was only paying £200 per month, and it was literally just a stone throw from the university. And if I had accepted the university accommodation, which was £9,700, can you imagine the difference in the pay? The fact that I had stayed in that bed and breakfast for 1 month, if you add that amount of money that I spent to the 200 that I was paying every month, you will see that actually I was literally living for free. I didn't actually pay anything. And I was living obviously in the house with one other person. It was an amazing experience. We had such a good time. I stayed there for the entire 3 years of my nursing studies in the UK, and it was great. I think I was paying 200 to 250 pounds per month, but that's all it was. So that's why I'm saying I had the patience to find the place myself without relying on other people, because even while I was away, when I rang people in the UK and I tried to find accommodation, there were lots of complications. For example, some people were like, oh, Melvis, you need references, you need this, you need that, you need that. I didn't have any of those things. So if you're moving to the UK, look, there are cheaper options, but if you sign contracts in advance, if you accept certain things in advance, you're going to be stuck with them. Because my university told me that if I accepted that accommodation, I could not leave. And if I wanted to leave before 1 year, I had to find somebody to replace me. And I was thinking, if I'm finding somebody to replace me, how am I going to find somebody? Because basically, once you sign the contract, you have to pay the money for the entire year. That's what they said. And most universities, this is what they do. Yet you're staying in a house with 6, 7, 10 other people. It is not worth it. You need to run away from university accommodation. Come to the UK, stay in a bed and breakfast, find your accommodation with convenience, with calm, without any rush. If you're working, it's going to be the same thing. If you're coming to work for the NHS, for example, if they're offering you free accommodation, say the first 3 months or so, that's absolutely fine. You're going to use that time to find yours. But what you're going to find is that even many hospitals are going to offer accommodation, say the first, they'll offer you accommodation for like maybe £500 for a room that you're going to be sharing. You're going to be sharing a house or a flat with other people, and you'll be paying about £500. But if you came to the UK, and then you left that place to find your own, accommodation, even if you're sharing with people, you're going to pay less. The same thing for carers, you'll be paying less. But if you accept the accommodation because of the convenience that somebody has found it, look, you need to be proactive. Everything that I do, if you're part of my private coaching program, what I teach, what I really focus on is that independence, is gaining the confidence to know that, look, you can negotiate for yourself. Anything you want to have, you can have. You don't necessarily need to be so passive with the processes. You need to be active, because success in anything is not a passive process. You have to be involved. That's what I'm saying. So if you're somebody that is part of my private coaching program, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not doing it for you, but I'm empowering you. I'm showing you, look, this is how you do it. This is what you do. This is the best way. That's what it's all about. And that is why the program obviously is so successful. That's why the nurses, carers, students who are part of my private coaching program have such, a solid mindset, because you're learning the principles that you need to succeed. It's not me doing it for you so that you don't have to do it and you can sit back. No, it's me telling you how to do it, teaching you how to do it, prompting you to do it, and pushing you, explaining why you need to do it yourself. And this is what you need. This is the sort of mindset and the attitude that you need to succeed. And you're going to save a lot of money. Because if you look at the fact that you're going to be working and all your money will be going on accommodation, it's not worth it. The whole point that you're in the UK, you need to try and save money. And even if you're already in the UK and you want to study, it's the same thing. You know, if you're already physically in the UK, accepting student accommodation, not a good deal. You can get a better deal for yourself by simply doing the work yourself. And look, there's nothing wrong getting your hands dirty, doing the work yourself. You know, if you're studying in a town, get to that town, look around, you know, see the place, talk to people, create some network, some connections. Networking is powerful, because if you start building that as a student, if you start building that as a carer or as a nurse or whoever is in the UK from day one, look, you're going to have a powerful and successful career, because you're going to start building those principles from day one. And like I said, this made me save a lot of money. If you look at the fact that I was paying 250 pounds, all inclusive of bills, everything per month, if I had accepted a student accommodation for 9,700 pounds per year, how much difference is that? You know, so staying in a hotel, I can assure you, is going to be cheaper than accepting any other form of accommodation. I can guarantee you that it's going to be much cheaper. And when you go to the bed and breakfast, because you know that you're going to be staying for a few days, possibly negotiate with them. Don't say, oh, this is a hotel, I'm in the UK, can't negotiate. No. Everything is negotiable. You can negotiate with them and just say, oh, look, I'm going to be here a bit longer. You know, what about my stuff? You know, negotiating is not only in price, but it's also in obviously keeping your stuff. It's not like you want to go to a hotel and say, oh, look, you're charging £39. Can I just pay £20? That's not what I mean. I mean negotiating just better deals for yourself. For example, keeping your stuff, because they may have storage issues as well. You know, they may not want to have to keep your things for so long, especially if there are many. But truth be told, if you're staying with them, they're going to be very accommodating. You just have to be able to negotiate, apologize to them, explain that, you know, you're coming from overseas, you're a bit stuck, and you're looking for a place. Because it's a win-win situation for everybody. You're occupying a room in that place, and they're helping you keep your stuff. So, you know, 50-50, everybody wins, everybody's happy. So please, I just want you to really take charge of the process, be involved. Things are not as difficult as they seem. Yes, you need guidance. Guidance is very necessary. But just be more involved with the processes, because look, it's going to benefit you a lot. You're going to save a lot of money long term. Again, I want to hear what your experiences have been. Leave a comment below. You know, when you moved to the UK, where did you live? How much was your accommodation? Were you paying? Was somebody paying for you? How long did you live there for? Where you live now, how much does it cost? Just so that we can share those experiences. Other people who are still to come to the UK also can learn from those experiences, because the whole point of this channel is that if any mistakes have been made, we don't want those mistakes to be repeated by people who are coming behind us or after us. We want to make sure that, you know, if any mistakes have been made, we are highlighting it to our other colleagues and saying, look, alarm bells on, this was going on. Take the left instead of the right, take the right instead of the left. You know, don't come this way, move that way, because it helps other people as well. We can't just have these experiences and then keep them to ourselves, because if your experiences are kept to yourself, they are not experiences. You need to share them with the world. And that's why I'm doing these videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do hit subscribe right now. Turn on that notification button, because you want to be the first to be notified when I drop a new video on here every single day on Feeling Me. I drop a video here every day, like I've said, you know, on different topics. I like side hustles, I like online businesses, I like, you know, career progression is something that I'm really passionate about. I've worked incredibly hard in my own career as a nurse, progressing to an advanced nurse practitioner now. So it is, you know, something that I consider duty to myself. So, and it's not a privilege for me, it's a basic necessity that I do that as a professional. So please, you want to make sure that you're looking for these money saving tips, you know, and keep watching the videos. Share this with people that you know that are to come to the UK, so that they can learn, they cannot make the same mistakes that, you know, some other people have made and have struggled, you know, and have had all their pay taken. You know, I know people that have come to the UK recently and they literally don't earn anything. At the end of the month, they pay them like £50, sometimes nothing, because all money has been taken out for accommodation and, you know, different things that actually those people could do without. Again, thank you for watching. Keep watching the video, and I'll see you in the next video.